Hi friends, Ribeye Ranger Jim here.
And Lynn Tucker Carnivore, and we are back.
We're back.
We've talked to so many people out there, new people that want to try carnivore, a little apprehensive, asking a lot of really good questions. So we thought, we're going to start off by giving you some of the things we'd suggest you do to start off with, because I don't think they're going to go back and watch our first videos, although some of them are really funny and very good. But
some of them.
I want to find out what you think about the top 3 things you would do if you were just going to start carnivore.
The first thing that comes to my mind is stop eating any known sugar.
Oh, good one.
And as adults, we all know that means cookies, that means the Cokes, the Diet Dr. Pepper, all of those things that we know have sugar or sweeteners in them. You know, artificial sweeteners, they can be hundreds of times sweeter than regular sugar.
Learned that one.
It doesn't make it healthier, it's just they're hundreds of times sweeter. So the first thing I do is stop all the known sugars. That means there's no more need for desserts, no cookies, no pies, no cakes, nothing. And sorry, no ice cream. So I stop all the known sugars, then I would stop all the vegetable oils. That means canola, corn oil, mazola, whatever little fancy cute name they give it. Don't waste your time on those. They are proven to be inflammatory to your metabolism. Your body doesn't know what to do with it because they're chemicals. They're not food. It's not a food source going into you at all. And people always ask, oh, well, what can I cook with then? It's really easy.
That's good too.
You cook with butter, you cook with bacon fat, pork grease, lard, or beef tallow. That's all you need. Some people use ghee, which is like a clarified butter thing. I've never tried it, so I'm not.
I know, we
but
didn't
look,
do that one.
Between butter and bacon grease and the beef tallow, it's all delicious.
Or if you made bacon ahead of time, which is one of our tips, you'll have some bacon grease. That'll solidify, and now you've got something you can cook your food in.
Right.
And that's free.
You can keep it on your counter if you like. We like to keep ours in the fridge.
Yeah.
Because then you can just grab a nice teaspoon.
Chunk.
It solidifies a little bit. So you just grab a teaspoon of that and you put it in your pan and you're done.
Yep.
So, and the third thing I do would probably be transition from a standard American diet where you have some vegetables on your plate, maybe you got some broccoli, maybe you got a little salad, and then a little bit of meat. So you transition to that, and what you do is you take off one of the carbohydrates. A steak, a baked potato, and a salad. All right, have a little more meat and just take that baked potato off your plate. Remember to eat more meat instead of the vegetables or the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Don't just add more meat to your full baked potato and your broccoli and your salad and all the other stuff on your plate. Don't just add more meat and then that's it. Just remember, you're removing one permanently. Those are my top 3, I think.
Well, I like those, and those are very good. I'm a little more in the mechanics of the whole thing. So my first thing would be, why do you want to do this? I mean, let's really have a good reason, because that's going to carry you through. I'd even write it down. The second thing I would do is I would say, let's like do the pregame show. Let's do a week of 100 carbs a week. Then the next week, let's get it down to 50. And then the next week down to 25. Then start carnivore. And when you start carnivore, Carrie Mann always says from Homestead How, please treat yourself. In other words, buy the best you can afford to buy. Because as Dr. Berry says, I don't care if you're eating clean hot dogs and bologna or Spam or tuna fish out of a can, whatever you can afford. But start with the best you can afford so that you really are treating yourself as a new way of eating as opposed to a diet.
Which means maybe you don't have a lot of steak, but maybe you really like it. So for the first week, maybe buy yourself 3 or 4 steaks to alternate your dinners and enjoy steak when you make the transition.
And make your husband grill it because he's really good at it.
Oh, man. See, you brag about something one time. Oh,
no,
honey,
you're good at it.
You're really good at it. Maybe you make dinner every night.
I'm serious. I do breakfast. That's another little tip too. It's kind of divide if you are working as a team, because a lot of people aren't. And they're like, how am I going to do this if my husband doesn't or my wife doesn't like this? Well, all we say is when you're putting everything out on the table, you just you just enjoy the meat.
Right.
Forget about all the
Right.
rest of it, and nobody really makes a big deal out of it.
Right.
Also, my last thing that I would suggest is to make bacon ahead of time, because
That's a good one.
cravings are a big thing for the first couple of weeks, and you really have to have something that's helping you.
So when you bake them, what do you do after you cook the bacon in the pan and
You put it in little baggies,
right?
and you put it in the refrigerator. And if you're going somewhere like to work, and you know that Susie's going to have a birthday.
Elaine, cake? No thanks. It's Walter's special day. You know, there are 200 people who work in this office. Every day is somebody's special day.
And the cake's going to be coming out.
All right, pile it on.
You just take a couple of pieces of bacon and drink some water, wait about 30 seconds, and you're armed and dangerous. You won't be hit by the cravings. The other good way of doing that is, I know this is going to sound strange, but it tastes really good. A pat of butter. And it seems like the animal fat, be it from bacon or be it from butter, I don't know, it just takes the cravings away. It's weird. The other thing I was always hear about is, or you should figure out for yourself, is what are your foods that you just love and you're really apprehensive about giving away or giving up. Some people are soda, and both Dr. Berry and Todd Bachnes from Carnivore Cure both said that was harder to give up than Todd said smoking. Can you believe it? So
maybe some of you can relate to that.
Yeah,
Maybe,
a lot
we
of
never
us.
had soda addictions, but maybe some of you do, and you can appreciate that.
I mean,
but they have a solution.
everywhere you go, they
Yeah.
give you, sodas.
Yeah.
And it's always included in the meal. So no wonder we're addicted to that. And it's highly addictive because it's so filled
Right.
with sugar or artificial sweeteners, like Jim said, that are way more sugary and sweet than regular sugar even. So what they said to do was take your soda, add sparkling water, that's plain sparkling water, a little more sparkling water, a little less soda, a little more sparkling water, and wean yourself off of it. So there's that. And then after a year, you've treated yourself to the first week or two, you've got your cravings under control, and then now it's not as hard as people think.
It's really not.
It really was easy for us.
Once you get past the first week or two, and I understand a lot of people do have serious carbohydrate addiction.
Yes.
So we're not downplaying that at all.
We were lucky that we just
Yeah, we
didn't
didn't have
eat that
any-
way. And then my brother was
Yeah.
diagnosed with cancer, and so he was here, and we were eating more keto because that's as much as he knew to do at that point.
Before
for
we
cancer.
even discovered carnivore.
Right. So we were doing that. I was cutting my Dr. Pepper, beloved, down to once a month.
Right.
So we were working that direction, and I really think you need to do that because doing a strict carnivore right off the bat sometimes is just too hard for people.
Yeah. She mentioned one thing that's very interesting. Cut your carbs down. Just cut your carbs down. Well, here's two things. Number one, a lot of people aren't aware of what carbohydrates really are.
Oh, good one.
So, in fairness, we weren't either. I'm
What did-
67 years old, and I wasn't sure. So, starches, all starches,
Yes.
potatoes, rice, pasta, things like that. They're made of grains, all the
Pasta.
grains, breads. All of that turns to sugar in your body.
Yeah, it's highly.
As soon as it hits your mouth,
I
your
know.
body is converting it into sugar.
And we're so
it-
into having sandwiches
Yeah.
all the time too, and whatever. So we totally get it and we understand. But right off the bat, we went through our pantry, we went through
Right.
our fridge, we donated the toaster, and we donated the rice maker to
Yeah.
get it out of here.
Yeah.
So we
you know
weren't
what,
tempted.
Now we lost count, but the point, that's another great
It's a good
tip right there.
mechanical one.
It's,
Yeah.
it's to get in your pantry and say, you know what, all of these oils don't work. I'm sorry I spent the money on them. Consider it an education.
Yeah.
You know, really, because we threw away probably $100 worth of junk food. We didn't mean to. It's just
Yeah.
what it is. We used to love the pub mix, from Costco.
Yeah.
So we had pub mix in there. We had all the rice. We had 2 different kinds of rice. They're supposed to be healthy rice.
Yeah, the
And
basmati.
Forget about it.
That's what they
Forget
told
about
us.
it. Once you commit to this, you just go in your pantry and say, oil, 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 oil.
Read
you're out.
labels, read the labels, and
Right.
mourn everything you've ever bought.
Yeah.
You're like, no! but it's the truth.
But you'll be
That's what
saving the
happens.
money in the long run, for one thing, because you won't be getting sick, and you won't be going to the doctor, and you won't be doing the co-pays.
And speaking of being
Yeah.
sick, neither one of us have been, not even so much as a cold.
No.
You know, in Texas, cedar fever
Oh,
is rampant.
Allergies. Yeah.
Allergies crazy. Like it doesn't hit you until like 3 years after you're here, and then all of a sudden your eyes are watering so that you
you're
can't wear
sneezing.
makeup. It's just crazy.
And that was the worst part for me. My makeup just kept rubbing.
stop.
No, I'm kidding. But no. So the other thing she
None
was
of that.
carbohydrates, fruit.
Oh yes.
Every fruit turns to sugar in your body.
Have-
It's loaded
fruit's
with
worse.
It's loaded with fructose and
Yeah.
glucose, a combination. All of those turn right to sugar as soon
Double
as
whammy.
I know, friends. I know. We've been told eat all of the colors because the brighter colors are
It's
good
God's
for you.
candy.
And I'm sorry, it's not. And we have the research to prove that. We have the doctors. We have the doctors that we've seen on YouTube. Yes, they're real doctors. They didn't get their degrees off of YouTube by paying someone else.
Right.
We have a list of doctors. Matter of fact, Lynn came up with a great idea when we meet new people.
Yep.
And you don't have a lot of
reference
time to talk to them in the checkout line or at the gym or anything.
And you don't want them to memorize anything that
Right.
you've said
So
because
if
you
these
say
people,
a lot.
These people say, well, I don't know how to get started. Who can I look at or figure out how can I get in touch? And so tell them what you did.
I came up with a carnivore reference card, which lists at the very top beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And then it has Jim and I
Or YouTube channels.
YouTube channels. Then it has Dr. Barry, Dr. Let's see, there's
Dr.
like
Chafee, Dr. Baker, Dr. Kiltz,
Dr. Ovadia,
But
Dr. Professor Seafried,
right?
and also Carrie Mann from Healing Humanity .movie.
Healing Humanity is a documentary that Carrie Mann has been working on for a long time, over a year
Such
now.
good content.
Carrie had so much healing from the carnivore diet. He was 100 pounds heavier at his heaviest. He lost 100 pounds just by adopting the proper human diet.
Right,
The
he has-
carnivore diet is an ancestral diet from long before we started farming and we settled down. It's from
Ever since he
Right.
says that we've been breathing air and drinking water,
We've been
we have
eating
been
meat.
eating meat.
Right.
And that's why the cave art is so beautifully depicting men hunting.
You don't
No
see
salads.
any cave art of salad, do you?
No
Beef,
beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
and poultry, and fish if you like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can have lobster if you like
Oh,
lobster.
That's fun.
Shrimp. So any animal-based product, really. Elk, bison, deer, goat,
Lamb,
lamb. So there's plenty
especially
of
the
meat there.
ruminant ones. And if you're eating the ones like the pork
Right.
and the turkey and such, just add butter because you need more fat. Even us women need more fat than the men for the fat content. And a lot of times, that's a tip, a lot of times I can't eat so much fat because it's right next to some gristle. And Jim doesn't mind doing that, but I really do. So I just add butter. It's real easy. And then the other big thing is I've learned to use salt. A whole growing up, first of all, there was only one spice, and it was salt. We didn't even use pepper in my family. My mother was English. Anyway, so she didn't really use any salt, because back then they told them too, don't use the salt, it's terrible for your heart, or whatever they used to say. So now we use Redmond's, but also Celtic salt and pink Himalayan, just a real salt, because the salt with the little girl in the umbrella, it has sugar in it.
Yeah.
I know. I can't believe they put it there too.
Yeah.
But they did. So salt it to taste and salt it well.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's it. And the thing is, as Dr. Barry says, see, we quote these people because we're not pretending to know everything.
No, we watch a lot of YouTube because it's interesting.
I love this diet, and I love Dr. Barry because he really simplifies this for us. You eat meat until you're comfortably stuffed, and you eat meat with the fat it comes with. Don't trim the fat off of your steak.
Yeah.
Eat as much of that as you can. And if you like, my name's Ribeye Ranger for a reason. I love me some ribeyes.
Me too.
And the good thing about a ribeye, it's really well marbled with fat in it. Every bite you're going to get a little bit of fat that you need. Eating fat doesn't make you fat.
No.
So whenever anyone goes to a carnivore, they always worry about fat. I always think that if you eat fat, you're gonna get fat. I get about 70-80% of my calories from fat, and I'm not fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. Fat makes you lean, strong, and healthy.
So that was Dr. Chafee, and eating fat doesn't make you fat. It makes you lean, strong, and healthy, right? Your body reaches a state of homeostasis. Some doctors call it your set point. It's your ideal weight for your bones and your body structure. It just is what it is. I started out at 205, and now my set point is 155. I can eat as much as I want. I eat as much meat as I want.
That's the weird thing.
I go up to maybe 160, and then after a period of time, I go down to 153.
Yeah, it's like a range.
So it's a range. It's a natural range. Same
And we
thing for
eat
hunger.
and we eat and we eat and we eat and we don't gain anything. And then after you've eaten and eaten and eaten, just like Thanksgiving that we just went through, you just feel so full, but you don't feel bad.
We put away
That's
a
the
half a
weirdest
turkey
thing.
between us. We bought a 14-pound turkey, and it's just the two of us.
You know.
So it was great. We had a blast. We just kept digging into that thing. I said, man, I'm stuffed.
But I don't feel like I'm weighted down
Right.
and I can't even make it to the car. It's not like that kind of a feeling that's typical on Thanksgiving. You're like, wow, I feel good. Really full, but
Right.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the best part. To me, this is the best part, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
You don't weigh or measure your servings. You don't portion anything on your plate.
So easy.
You put as much meat on your plate as you want to eat, you eat it. If you're not quite full, you go back and get a little more.
Yeah.
And that could be anything.
More is fine.
I'm not saying you have to eat 3 or 4 steaks a night. That's ridiculous. We couldn't afford to do that. But if you had a hamburger and 3 eggs for breakfast, and you finish your breakfast, you look at the plate and say, I wish there was one more. Make yourself another egg. Make yourself another hamburger, because you don't want to walk away hungry.
Right.
You want to get all that good stuff in you.
And at the beginning, you really are healing. So give
Yes.
yourself the
Yes.
opportunity to eat as much as you want. After that point, your body tells you. It's so funny. It's like, well, I'm really not that hungry. Oh, okay. Well, I must be at this next phase then, where my body is starting to use my own fat for fuel.
Right.
Instead of me giving it all this fuel, it's like, no, I can handle it. I know you're okay. You're not being chased by a bear. There's no stress here. We are just going to do what we're supposed to do and do best. And then after that, you can start experimenting with 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day. It's totally up to you, and do what your body tells you. For the first time in your life, you'll actually be able to listen to your body, and it will tell you what it wants.
Eat when you're hungry.
Drink when you're thirsty.
That's it. Salt your food to taste. If you say, this needs more salt, put a lot of salt on there.
If you have any other issues beyond that,
Yeah.
Dr. Barry and your issue, YouTube.
Yeah. Go to YouTube. You'll see, remember the search bar up there in YouTube. Just type in Dr. Barry and then, or Dr. Chafee or any of our good doctors.
Right.
Just type in their name and the issue. Dr. Barry, cholesterol. Or here's another fun way to do it. Carnivore, cholesterol.
Yeah.
Bam. These people are going to tell you the truth about cholesterol and about your health and how your body works. I know more about how my body works. I've learned more in the last year than I did my entire 65 years leading up to this.
I learned more than the person that I go to see, because I asked her if she could answer this question, which was, did you know that babies are born into ketosis? And she said no.
Right. Right.
They don't teach them that. But we are. And then we give them baby formula, then we give them baby food, then we give them cereal, all filled with sugar, and off into a carb-filled life they go.
For those of you wondering, do that search with Dr. Barry, Kids on Carnivore.
Yes.
Children, you could raise a child from an infant to be carnivore.
Yes, and their brains are so much more active
when
and
they're
good.
When they're drinking mother's milk, that milk is designed, the same thing as cow's milk for cows, it's designed to put weight on.
Right.
And to put cholesterol and get the
And
whole
work
system
your immune
churned up.
system,
Yep,
everything.
It builds your immune system and all of that. But it's great for the brain.
Yeah.
Everything. Kids do not need vegetables. They don't need fruits. Those are detrimental to children.
Put them in front of them and watch them go, ew.
Yeah, there's a reason. Honest to God, there's a reason kids throw out broccoli.
I know, I
because
did.
it tastes bitter. It tastes bitter. Vegetables taste bitter.
I used to swallow them all.
And giving a
whole.
kid carrot, if you gave a kid a hard carrot, of course they're going to choke on it. So why do we mash it up if they're not meant to have it in the first place?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, call me a liar, call me whatever you want to call me, because I really don't care. But the point is, read the ingredients on baby formula. Read the ingredients on infant formula.
Oh, you're going to get so knowledgeable. And then you're
Oh,
here's
man.
the next thing you're going to do.
Yep.
And that is you're going to tell the world
Yeah.
about how good you feel.
Right.
And how this is how it happened. And this is what I did. And it was really weird. And it went against every single thing that I've ever been
Right.
taught. And the food pyramid is upside down. And this is over here and that's over
And
there.
I'm going to tell you this.
Oh,
and
it's
here's
going
the
to be
next phase,
crazy.
and
Get ready.
I think as we're getting close to wrapping it up here, as enthusiastic as we are, I will warn you about this.
Yep.
Your relatives don't want to hear it.
No, they don't.
No matter how
Your
out
friends
of shape,
don't either.
regardless of how many medications they're on. If they have, I have a niece with multiple sclerosis, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty serious disease. So, and I haven't spoken to her in a few years. You know, you just grow up, you're adults, you go different ways. But when I found out online, look at carnivore multiple sclerosis, carnivore MS. Look it up. People are sending it into remission. I guess you're not allowed to say it's cured, but they send it into remission and have no further problems with it.
Many with diabetes.
So I looked these up and I watched these videos for her, and then I picked a couple to send to her, and I said, hey, check this out. I know you got this disease, and she said, oh, that's very nice of you, thanks, but I've got it under control with medication. But the doctors say you got to be on that medication for the rest of your life, but you'll be fine.
Right.
How about getting healed and getting off the medication?
Right.
How about fatty liver disease reversed in 90 days? Reversed in 90 days.
And you found this information
Yeah.
out, and you want so
I just want
desperately
to share it. I want
to
people
help
to get
them,
healthy.
but
Right?
they are like this
Right.
because they
Yeah.
don't want to hear it, and a lot of people just can't make the changes.
Right.
But here's the thing: you can.
Right.
You can do this.
And be the example.
And be the example.
Boom.
Exactly. I just told the person in my nurse practitioner's office that takes the blood work about carnivore. And he went, oh yeah, I know about keto and stuff. And I said, it's the next step. Keto's great, but carnivore heals. And I said, do this. And we talked about it. And that was at my 3-month carnivore blood work. I came back 8 months later at my 11-month carnivore blood work. He had lost 80 pounds. He
80
hugged
pounds.
me. He was like, Lynn, that was the most wonderful thing. And that's the perfect example in the office,
Right.
of a medical office,
Exactly.
of a transformation in front of their very eyes.
Right.
So find that person that's not related to you, not friends with you, nothing.
Yeah, that's a
or
fact.
you just be a living example
Yeah.
of the changes they can obviously see in you
Yeah.
as, you know, you go to work every day.
Yeah.
And you're not the one eating the cake. You're the one eating your bacon off in the corner.
Or
and
not
drinking some
eating it.
water.
You know what? Listen, if you eat a big enough breakfast where you're full, I guarantee you, some of you are going to go through your entire day without even getting hungry till dinner.
And let me tell
You just
you,
won't. You won't want a snack.
if you do a protein and you do eggs, like hamburger and eggs or ground turkey and eggs or whatever, and that lasts, those eggs are really long lasting.
Yeah.
I've noticed that one too as a tip. But
You know, and the last thing I'm going to say about telling other people is, because we all know people who are taking medications for everything, for the heart, for the cholesterol, whatever. So many people who are carnivore are getting off of their medications. Our good friend right here, Carrie Mann from Homestead How, he's got a basket of empty pill bottles
like
that
25 bottles.
He got off of every one of those medications.
try this one for 3 months.
For
it didn't
depression,
work.
for anxiety.
Try that one for 3 months. It
Oh
didn't
my gosh.
work. Try this one for 3 months.
People are healing their mental health.
Yes.
Because the brain is finally getting the nutrients in the fat and the protein that it needs. I am Ribeye Ranger Jim.
And
Feel
Lynn.
free to hit us up on the comments if you like, any questions or anything. We do our best to answer them, but we just love our new lifestyle. We took our own lives back. We took our health back.
You did.
I lost 50 pounds and kept it off, and it is effortless to keep weight off.
It really is. And make muscle.
If weight is a problem, that's one thing. But making muscle, because we've learned muscle is simply made by ingesting enough protein and fat and lifting heavy things. Even if you don't go to the gym, do some stuff around, do a little landscaping,
Yeah.
move some rocks.
Yes.
You know, lift a big water bottle if you need to. But lift heavy things, get out, get some sunshine. I'm telling
And
you.
if you have something you just don't want to share with everyone, you can go to my email, which is lynntuckercarnivore@gmail.com. Ask me the question. If I can't answer it, I will tell you, I'll point you in the right direction.
Right.
And we really are almost evangelical about this because We found healing.
Right.
We feel so much better. We sleep better. We have more energy. Our
Right.
brains work better. We just can't say enough. It's easy to buy. It's easy to clean up after. It's easy to regulate because you're not having to measure and you don't have to do anything other than listen to your system for the first time.
And the important thing is we're metabolically healthy on the
Yes.
inside. I'm 67. I could still put on a little bit of muscle, okay?
Mine look almost like that.
Hers are great, I'll tell you.
Anyway.
But I'm telling you, thank you very much for watching, friend. This has been very exciting catching up with you. Have a wonderful day, and I call you all friends because I do consider you friends, people who watch, who subscribe, or
It's a beautiful community.
who make comments, okay? It's a wonderful community. And please check our friends out online as well, Kerry Mann of Homestead How, and support his documentary, Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet.
It's healinghumanity.movie.
Right, so go to healinghumanity.movie and you'll see details about it.
Yeah.
And their stories are amazing. They're just
It's heartwarming.
A proper human diet has changed my life forever. Not only am I down over 100 pounds since my heaviest, I also overcame depression and anxiety and many other issues. Now I'm going on a journey to help others do the same.
You know, I've been a doctor for nearly 30 years now.
We've all been misled for so long.
They gave me pills for anxiety, they gave me pills for depression.
Our bodies are so deficient and so malnourished that of course you're going to get diseases, of course you're going to get sick.
I believe that I may have caused my cancer.
It is no way to live. It's a nightmare.
I was just so hopeless for so many years. It just kills me to know that the answer was out there the whole time.
The food that we're eating nowadays is simply not food. I mean, just because we put it in our mouths and we chew it and swallow it doesn't make it food.
We can sit back and we can say the bloody doctors, it's not their fault. They were trained and they're doing what they were trained to do.
The thing that really pisses me off is that the people that we should have been able to trust, the literal organizations that we look up to protect us, are the people who have done the majority of the misleading.
I'm 82 years old, which is just a chronological number. So you put the right fuel in the engine and the engine works.
I've now transitioned from a disease manager to a disease healer. I've transitioned from a drug dealer to a healer.
3 weeks ago, I didn't know this man, Bill, from Alaska. Bill is 700 pounds and he's been stuck in his house for 4 years. You nervous?
I'm nervous, scary. You know, I live in Alaska, the most incredible place on the planet. I had to have a toilet put, a few feet from my bed, which I can barely walk to as is. I have not been outside in over 4 years. This is life or death for me. I'm sorry, Karen. I'm sorry about that.
Here.
Man,
Thanks, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, for the first time in a long, long time, I'm looking towards the future, which I've not had in such a long, long time, and it's just the most incredible feeling.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our preview. There's so many more stories out there that need to be told. If you want to learn more, if you want to contribute, if you want to support our efforts, please visit healinghumanity.movie.